Yes, sir.
Ready to go?
Wait, we're starting now? I'm just fucking around.
You confused me. All right, we're officially starting now.
Let's be professional. That's a blooper part, right?
Yeah, that's the blooper part.
Let's go.
All right. What up, y'all? This is KOS, Knowledge Itself. I'm Vector. We're all the way to the end is Nato. We have our special guests, K1 and Konami, homie. And our topics today, what we're going to discuss about is current trends. One of those being Drake recently breaking the record for 1 billion streams. Tagashi 69 on trolling, how that's paying the toll right now. And I don't know about that. And then also Chance the Rapper recently brought,
the Chicago.
trying to buy.
The Chicagoist,
yeah,
that's pronounced.
Cannot pronounce that.
Chicagoist.
And then making hip hop healthy, and then the K1 and Konami's. You're a special guest. So what's your guys' topic?
Man, let's talk about the energy that today's music is bringing to culture.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that. I'm with it.
Cool.
That's cool. With me. Let's do that.
All right. So first topic. So I'm sure you guys heard about like what's going on with Drake and his 1 billion streams.
I actually haven't.
No?
Either.
No, shit. Okay, we're going to fill them in there.
I don't.
You guys follow Drake?
Not at all.
No, I anticipated this.
Not me.
Not me. It's a great artist, but I don't follow him.
Was it a song or a whole project?
I think it was the latest album.
Yeah.
I did see the link for it, but I didn't click
The
on
two-sided
it and
album?
get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a Scorpion
Scorpio.
two-sided album.
I definitely did not hear anything off of that.
That's good.
So this is what happened. So apparently Drake paid off
I mean, there's he of course he's gonna start off like that. Yeah, that's Justin. That's what Justin's gonna do. He's gonna be like, so he paid so and so.
That's how I roll. So
Going hard.
if anyone hasn't heard the news, so Drake made history by breaking a record by having his album have 1 billion streams. So going with that topic, how do you guys feel? Like, is that streaming? That's the way to go in terms of like albums, or how do you guys feel about that?
I feel like as far as streaming goes, nowadays streams can be paid for. Mm-hmm. So it's really hard to really judge that, especially if somebody has the ability and the money and the backing to just pay for streams. It's like, but then again, it is Drake. A lot of people are like real fans of his music. But 1 billion, man, I don't know. That's
like when I first heard it, I was like, billion. I was like, that sounds
a two-sided
like,
album. 1 billion, like nobody's sitting through a whole two-sided album.
So with streams, does that mean like it's the whole? That means like literally the whole from front to back, the complete album. Is that what, or did people just
Is
like?
that what it entails?
That what it entails?
Yeah.
Streaming, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't feel like anybody's sitting through the whole Drake album.
I feel like there's a lot of people that listen to both sides of the album. I think that it was a great marketing strategy. Whatever, you gotta. There's traditions of hip hop, like as somebody who grew up like in the '90s and that type of hip hop, like I can see why it's frowned upon. But at the same time, like you gotta adjust with the time. So by him doing that was a perfect marketing strategy. I mean, you get it how you get it. I mean, at the end of the day, he's still feeding his family. He's establishing his legacy. He makes countless of hits. Like Drake's been relevant for what at least 10 years.
Yeah,
at least 10 years. So, I mean. It is what it is. He had to make that move. And I feel like it was a strategic move. I don't feel like anybody else has done it. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he's definitely, in that fashion, he's a trendsetter. So more people are gonna, figure out the formula and start paying for streams. I mean, if you like you said, if you have the money to invest into it, why not?
it's like a return on investment, and it's from the start of it all. It's a good. I never really thought about that because there was like a rumor going around that he paid. Justin was about to touch it. Vector was about to touch it. That he paid someone $250,000 apparently to get like everything on there. Whether I don't know if that's true or not, but like you said, if you got the money and the cash for it, why not?
Why not?
And then it's a return on investment. I mean, like you said, like it's a smart idea. Cough up a little money, billion streams. And I was researching online today before we got here about how much money you make per stream. There's really not a lot. You have to be like on the Drake's level to maintain, obviously, that whatever he made for that billion of streams, because I think it's like 0.0008 cents per stream. So that's 800 or whatever of dollars or whatever per stream. So you're not, unless you're making that relatively of legacy of hip hop, you're not going to make that revenue. And I think streaming is a good and bad thing in a sense.
I recently got $20 for streaming. So.
What was that again?
I got $20 for streaming.
How long have you been streaming for?
It was for mood music, so I guess
about 4 months.
That's really not. I mean, it's not bad. I mean, you know, as a, how do you feel about that then?
I was happy I got something. You know what I mean?
That's good.
Listening.
Yeah, any type of profit is good profit because definitely. I mean it's definitely like it's a learning experience. So
5 seconds.
If you're able to make $24, you know, off of this one, then you can figure out how to double your profit the next time around. It's just about making strategic moves, and that's what I feel like artists who have the money like invested into them or that they've made, they just have, you know, they can make strategic moves. It's good to have like a good marketing team behind you. I feel like that's
marketing is key, man.
That's the staple.
Yeah,
in an artist's like in the artist structure.
Yeah, and then plus finishing that off like with that aspect, he's becoming like trendy. So he's becoming like since he paid off that specific company, now his album is like going more in the forefront, like when you're searching as far as like what's hot.
Yeah.
So I mean, marketing wise, it was smart. Tekashi 69. I mean, I'm sure you heard the news. He was talking a lot of mess, and now it caught up with him.
I agree. Man.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
So it's more like boy who cried wolf, and now he's eating his words. So.
You know what?
I don't know if he is eating his words yet.
I definitely think it's all marketing because I mean, not really? To like compare him to like 50 Cent, but like 50 Cent came in a game he bashed everybody.
Yeah,
he went at everybody's throat. And Tekashi 69, like him being a youngster, him having a rainbow colored hair, tattoos all over his face, he looks different. So for
like
somebody,
a joke.
Yeah, so
it looks like a gimmick altogether.
Yeah, but I mean, it's smart. Like, how many gimmicks have we grown up on? I mean, I'm pretty sure like everybody at one point in time watched wrestling. Like,
that's true.
Those gimmicks, like, they got us through some times in our years. We grew up like liking these people. So I think for this generation, they kind of see him like, what he's doing is like, oh yeah, man, damn, this kid is, because I think whoever's backing him is like very intelligent.
They have to be
and pushing him.
Young 50.
Yeah,
Young
but
50.
you also did heard that that recent robbery situation that he got into, like where he got pistol whipped.
I definitely don't.
Is there a video on it?
There's not
a video.
Honestly,
I didn't read too much.
He dropped a song. The same day like that got posted?
He dropped Fifi.
Strategic.
Right? Yeah, it was strategic. So when I seen I saw the pictures that they posted of him in the hospital. Like it just didn't look real. It didn't even feel real to me. Like,
especially for someone getting pistol whipped, like it's like, well, where's the damage? That was my first thought.
Because he came back, the next day, and I mean, he does what he do best. Like, he goes out into the community, and he's an active, he plays an active role in the community. Goes and give money out to like the children and everything. But like when I saw like his face and stuff, he didn't look that bad. I mean, of course, like in like the industry, they do use like a lot of makeup and stuff. And men as well. So I mean, that could have been, you know, the case, but it just didn't. It didn't seem like that to me. So
the bruise could have been makeup itself.
Yeah, I feel like it was a strategic move. Like, and then for him to drop like a song with Nicki Minaj, like who's pretty relevant, and she just dropped her CD recently. So it was like it was all strategy.
Perfect storm.
Yeah. And then them all being from New York, like that's not coincidental. Like he's getting like legends of New York. Like
at the moment, he's beefing with YG again over Twitter. So like if he did get an ass whooping like that, why is he back doing what he's doing?
Yeah,
exactly.
You know what? Like me growing up, like in the hood, like politics are different. Politics are definitely different from like the Los Angeles area compared to the New York area. So they get out in a different way. I mean, we're always going to be at odds with each other because we wasn't raised the way that they were raised. So
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
So it's always like, so to them, it's going to like us, you know, being outsiders looking in, it's always going to seem like it's a facade, and then, you know, vice versa.
I just hope that this Troy era, I hope they learn. Because if worse comes to worse, like you get what you speak into existence.
That's true.
Like, true.
You keep talking about death, and I don't listen. It's going to come. I don't listen to his music a lot, but I do hear people bumping in the street, and you hear what he talks about. It's like, damn, bite your tongue sometimes. I mean, I get it, troll, whatnot, but what comes around,
you're pushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, he definitely should learn from like Pac and Big. Like, I don't know if a lot of people really like listen to their lyrics like that, but they were sowing a lot of death into their life. They were speaking a lot of death into their life. So they reaped what they sowed. So I definitely like that's my disappointment with him. Like you just gotta be mindful of what you say.
All right, cool. Well, we're about to wrap up and move on to Chicagoist, Chance the Rapper. So have you guys heard about that?
I haven't.
I have not.
Well, Vector scooped me in a little bit towards the end yesterday. I did some research on it too. It's a pretty interesting thing right now. So go ahead, touch upon everybody.
So, what I researched was, and David can correct me if I'm wrong on this one. So, the whole controversy is one of the editors from the Chicagoist said something that offended Chance, which he was calling him a deadbeat dad. And and what was interesting is like Chance didn't come out and say that he brought the Chicagoist. He released 4 songs. And within one of those 4 songs, he pretty much calls it out as like, says like, hey, I brought the Chicagoist. And then after that song was finished, like it just online just went nuts, and then he formally announced it from a receptionist saying like, no, hey, he potentially brought it. So
that's actually pretty legit. Like, because I feel like instead of going about it like the wrong way or an angry way or even a disrespectful way, he just did a big business move and was like,
he bought it, so
right?
No, like he said that he's gonna fire that dude.
No, that's pretty legit though. You know what I'm saying? Like, buy a whole company just to fire one person. I'm all for it.
Is that petty though? Like,
it's super petty, but I'm still all for it. It was the dopest petty move.
I wouldn't call it a petty move. I'd call it just a reign of power, in my opinion. You bite the dragon, you're gonna get the reaction to it. And I think other things that Chance wanted to do was he wanted to use the Chicagoists to actually help with other voices in the community to give them an outlet too. So I think the getting him fired, that'd be tight, but I think the motives behind it were a lot better than just that, because he's actually, like he said in an interview, not interview, but they're saying, because he's a social activist and what else he's done in that for Chicago, that part of him purchasing the Chicagoist was to help other people get that voice out and to give like an actual like community-based news frontier rather than just like the media outlets we have now, which I think is genius because we needs that. People need that.
That was definitely a smart business move. I don't know if he's going to even fire that dude. We just, that's all speculation.
I would be like, work for me, man. I was like, work for me.
Nobody, ain't no telling how long that guy's been in, that industry. So to do that and utilize his, his skill set to really touch on the subjects of Chicago. I know Chicago gets a lot of bad rap, but I feel like it's a lot of good in that city as well. I think just him having creative control over the newspaper would be a good move. Only because if we look at our news today, they pretty much it's creative control. So they show us what they want us, want to show us, and then a lot of times it's stuff to get us, get a reaction out of us.
There's an agenda to it.
Right,
or even turning us against each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what media does.
I believe the news and the media just in general, it sows a lot of division.
A lot.
Oh yeah,
very. Whose agenda they always pushing? It's always something different. It's always creating chaos, and it's always creating just a negative.
Controversy.
Yeah,
there's money behind it.
And fear as well too.
Yeah, you know what? I think some dude, I'm not sure what the author's name was, but he wrote a book on I think it was entitled "Controversy Creates Dollars or Cash" or something.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's an interesting read. Yeah, for sure. I read some of the book, and it was it was legit. It was spot on, some of the stuff that he said.
That's time.
Yeah, cool. All right. So that about wraps it up. So we're gonna move on to our next topic, and something that I definitely wanted to discuss with Nato, and it's Nato's a concept that he's been working on, and I recently saw a month ago from an Instagram post, and that's make hip hop healthy. So I'll go ahead and turn on the mic over to Nato so he can go ahead and explain and go into depth with it.
Make hip hop healthy. It's I'm a personal trainer, so I work with a lot of individuals, and it's more than just the health aspect of it all. It's more the mental wellness of it. And I love music, and I think hip hop. Well, Mos Def said it. Wherever the people go, hip hop will go. I think what mainstream media is doing, and it's going to connect with what we're going to talk about in your topic about the energy. It's giving off. I think we're listening to toxicity, and we're not. A lot of people are not even aware of it, of what we're consuming, digesting, and it's what also as us as the artist, us as the being, us as a consumer, us as a listener. I think we need to make a more conscious effort of realizing what we are listening to. I mean, I know of us here. I know we're. I think we're a part of it and we're not a part of it. We're the awareness of it all, but at the same time we can't control it all because we're one people together coming to create for people. But I think hip hop healthy, it's much more than just what are you eating? I have a client of mine who wants to lose 20 pounds. You're not gonna do it by eating McDonald's. You listening, same thing with music. It's you want to achieve something of a lifestyle. If you keep listening to music that's talking about how Future talks about the music. He talks about I'm neglecting women, disrespecting this, disrespecting that, drug abuse, this abuse, that abuse. We're creating a mental, I think, zombie apocalypse on a controlled mind state of just legit zombies. And I think it's bad because you see it in the next generation. We're around a lot of kids, and it's crazy because they know how to work a damn iPhone. And they don't need their parents, and then you don't know what they're watching or listening to. Automatically, already they're being programmed, or whether we say programmed or being influenced, they're still being influenced by whatever they're watching. So whether that's music, you got 6ix9ine talking about this and that. Then unfortunately, rest in peace, XXX. He just passed away. And then you have other Triple Red, all these other artists. Their music is so dark and depressing. It's all these kids are going to know is dark, depressing music. And it's not to disrespect the artists themselves. If that's your life, then so be it. But it's we need to understand that our consumers, what's going to happen to them as they consume what we're feeding them. So I think that's what I want. I'm still developing it. It came out of nowhere. I work with a few rappers who are overweight. And I was cool, New Age athletics, make hip hop healthy. it's a slogan that I'm trying to still develop because a lot of people took offense. Not a lot, but a few people took it offensively on social media. But the thing about it, it created dialogue, which I think is important because now it affected you. Now, why did it affect you? Now let's go figure out what we could figure out to make each other happier, to all of us to benefit. So that's where I'm at with it. Like, if you guys want to chime in on it, or what is it that what do you think when you hear that? Like, I'd rather ask that because I'm still trying to learn. So what do you think when you hear make hip hop healthy?
Okay, so by making hip hop healthy, it's like life. There's a yin and then there's a yang.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna depend on the individual. You have to be, like you said, like you gotta touch on like a spiritual and a mental aspect of your body, because like health is more than just the physical aspect. Like spiritual, it's spirit, mind, and body. Yeah. So as a consumer, I think if you have a healthy balance of what you listen to, then it's okay. Like, I mean, there's gonna be times like it's good that they have like so many artists. Like, I think our problem with just hip hop, as far as like us, being outsiders looking in, is we see the negative aspects of everything. But this is like this goes back onto the media. Like, it's their creative control.
They're pushing this negative agenda.
Yeah, but then you got guys like us, and people like Noah James. Like, shout out to Noah, who makes music about love, and just he brings that positive, like, reinforcement. So when somebody listen to him, it's going to sound like
it's different.
It's going to sound different. Like,
and it's dope because Noah came from like a dark spot.
Yeah. Oh, dark spot.
Yeah, but I mean, doesn't everybody love like a good comeback story?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean, so that's the beautiful thing about it. Like, I know just people in general, we always go through like a dark trend, dark transition in life, and then eventually we find a light. Some of us do. I mean, some of us, unfortunately, we don't. We get to those crossroads and we feel like it's just there's nothing that we can do. So, I mean, if the media would, push like the issue as far as having like a balance of like good and positive, which I think like we get from, the conglomerates of hip hop. Like, I feel like even Drake, like when he came out with God's Plan, Kendrick would like, him coming out like super hood, and then, adding that consciousness and that politics a part of hip hop. J. Cole just enlightening people about like, the things that are going on like in hip hop with like certain, individuals, these children. So I feel like that's where like our light comes from. Like, our three main like, top artists of this generation, they created like a positive impact. And then you got a whole bunch of, other individuals, they're just finding their lane. Like, I feel like a lot of these rappers, like, they have what it takes, like, to make a change. But I mean, at the end of the day, they want to be marketable. They want to make money.
They want to make that money, man. So, that's what's kind of messing it up and saturating it.
Yeah.
But that's where I feel like the balance is lost. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much money chasing going on that they don't care about the destruction they're causing behind it. You know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, we have a few good artists, but compared to all the negative artists we have, it's like, it's so much more of that negativity going on. You know what I mean? Like, we need consistent positivity to balance out that negativity that's drowning the culture right now.
Yeah, I agree. And it's something that I always was aware, especially like during my preteens and just when I was a kid. Like, a lot of that consciousness when hip hop first started, like there was just a lot of consciousness, pro-black, just a lot of self-love and just self-education. And then, I mean, not to disrespect, Dr. Dre's Chronic, I mean, the album is still a classic to me, and as far as I grew up. But yeah, just going back into what you guys mentioned as far as like the media, like I definitely saw an agenda. Like, once the people in power saw there was a formula, like, you know, because you also got to remember, like, the government for a time was trying to ban hip hop because they knew what it was doing to the people. So once they started to see a formula, like, wait, we can promote sex, drugs, money, and violence to our advantage, they saw the flip side to it and start pushing, you know, that aspect more. And I feel like a lot of people are being consumed, and for, you know, some people that are not aware of being brainwashed to seeing like, and some people are misinterpreting the word, you know, hip hop. And my argument has always been like, no, that's not what hip hop is. That's not what it originally was. Like, you're just seeing what a distorted aspect of it. So
I don't feel like it's a distortion. I honestly feel like it's different. It's different from what what we're used to or what we came up on. I definitely appreciate our foundation, me being an artist myself. And my music reflects like the era of music that like I grew up listening to. I think it's just taking a different form. I feel like eventually, like we'll get that time. That time will come to where it's like, all right, there's going to be a plethora of like positive artists, and then like there's going to have to be that balance again. So I think it's all about timing. And right now, like it's going to be like negative times, you know, because that's what people, you know what I mean, suicide is like at all time like high right now, you know. So this is what these artists are reflecting, and this is like their message, you know. It's like a catch-22. Like they're kind of enlightening you on the situation and the things that they go through. I mean, I feel like some of them touch on like the things that they do to overcome, but like I do feel like at the same time, like, I mean, they're humans. So
but a lot of them haven't overcome it. Like a lot of them are still stuck in it, which while a lot of them are still on drugs, still doing the same exact things, and they're not talking about like really overcoming it.
or
Like,
finding a solution.
Yeah, like their solution is, oh, do this drug or be this way, you know what I mean? And it's causing more of a downward spiral for those who are really living in a depressed life, you know what I mean? And
because someone brought something up to me before about that, you know, how everybody's talking about popping Xans and stuff. Like the era we grew up in was the drug dealer era, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Selling everything.
Now everybody's doing it.
Next generation
It's the addicts.
The drug users.
The
Yeah.
addicts.
The users.
So they.
That's how it works. It's boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, because I mean, it started with this. That was a hustle. See, that was a thing. It was a form and way to make money. Now, me personally, I don't feel like it was the right thing to do because you out here, you know, killing other individuals.
Would you say that we produced this generation since we were the generation that sold the drugs?
Yes and no.
Yeah, no.
I feel like this generation abused that. You know what I mean? Like
used it as a clutch too.
Yeah, like
No
I heard stuff
accountability.
all day. You know what I mean? But I wasn't out here trying to be the one using those drugs. You know what I mean? Like.
You wasn't a consumer.
Yeah,
You just said accountability,
there's
right?
no accountability.
Yeah.
Like even in our generation, I think it comes down to like the love of money. You know,
Yeah.
people
Yeah,
just
that's
really
facts, man.
Like
they
it's being
just-
glamorized too much.
They love money
That's
more
facts,
than
bro.
they love, than they value life, and that's always going to be an issue. You know, and that just comes down to an individual, like as far as like your character is concerned.
and not having self-love. Like,
Yes.
just
Love yourself.
bring your own energy up.
Right.
I guess on that note, I just feel like the energy is down right now. You know what I mean? Like
I agree.
the artists that are out right now, they're not uplifting energies. They're not supporting anything like that's causing growth.
It's supporting chaos.
Yeah.
I think, I definitely agree with you. I feel like a lot of individuals right now are confused. So the energy is confusing. So when you go to like a hip hop show and you see those guys perform, like, of course, that's them in their purest form. And like, that's why people go to their concerts, you know, because they can feel that energy coming off of them. And I think that's like their pure form of energy. But like, they also have to understand that like your words carry life. So that's, you know, that's a different type of energy. And when you speak certain things into life, like when you sow death into life, I mean, you putting out like a negative energy. So there's like, they have, it's a balance, like sort of say, but like it's just a confused energy. And I think like with us being older and just understanding like life more and having more life experiences, we understand that like, you know what, like it's not promoting like self-love and growth and awareness to a lot of individuals. So I feel like we feel some type of way, but that's you can tell like, I mean, you know, it's musicians in here, it's artists in here. Like when I listen to one of you guys' music, it's like, damn, like, yo, really got like a message behind it. Like that's uplifting. You know, I feel some type of way. It makes me feel some type of way. It makes me feel better about myself when, you know, I hear like a verse from him or a verse from you. Like it's dope. So, and they just haven't figured it out. You know, they're a rebellious generation. Like just like we were, you know, coming up.
And it's nothing wrong with being rebellious because in a sense it's like you're finding your own way in life.
Yeah.
But they're just being rebellious in the wrong ways, you know what I mean?
Not
like,
willing to accept criticism or learn.
Exactly.
Is it they're being rebellious in the wrong way, or is it that since, you know, maybe we just don't understand what they're going through? Because I mean,
it's a little bit of both.
A little bit.
Because I was gonna make a comment because you.
I can't even say that, man. Because like it's not that they're going. Besides technology, they're not going through anything different than what we went through.
I think they're.
It allows you.
Yeah,
and I
but
think they're being
in that
infatuated
sense, it's
too.
like I was even as a kid. For me, you know what I'm saying. I love technology, but there's no excuses for that. Like technology hasn't done anything to hinder my growth, you know what I mean? Or make me depressed, you know what I mean? Like when I was younger, we had, even on tapes, they had like movies about people dying and like getting hit by trains and getting hung, you know what I'm saying? And I sat there and watched that type of stuff, you know what I'm saying? And growing up, it didn't make me want to seek death more. If anything, it did the opposite. It made me want to seek more life, you know what I mean? So I don't know, like, why people are drifting so much towards that death now, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Like, they're relying on that too much. Like, I feel like someone want to let it go, but they're like, nah, this is rewarding to my creativity, which they don't realize, like, yo, you gotta let it go. Because
you're killing your creativity.
It's like everybody wants to be that martyr. You know what I mean? That person who died for their craft. And like because if you look at Tupac, you look at Tupac had an infatuation with death. Like every other song he rapped about was dying. What was it? Hail Mary?
Yeah.
Just about him, you know.
You're nobody till somebody kills you. The last song from Life After Death of Biggie.
So it's like, I think hip hop in general has an infatuation with
death. Yeah.
With death.
That's why I personally I love the Japanese culture because they also somewhat have like an infatuation with death, but it's more so understanding it. You know what I mean? Not necessarily chasing it. And it was more honorable. You know what I mean? Like they're not just going to go die to make a name. You know what I'm saying? They're going to die because they fought for something that was life-changing and could change in a positive way the people around them. You know what I mean? And people don't have that honor anymore.
Yeah,
it's just more for clout or attention.
Clout, yeah, exactly. Exactly.
It's like, why?
Wikipedia and clout, I'm learning one day.
Basically, attention, popularity, I guess.
Why, the thing is, why would you want all that attention if you're going to die? I mean, like, you're not going to live to see it.
Okay, so I feel like a lot of people are just so distracted by the money chase and entertainment, they're not focusing on teaching the younger ones not to be that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're losing their connection with the youth. They're losing, like, when I was growing up, there was like, there was a difference between being younger and older people, but it was more conversations going on between older and younger people, more knowledge being passed down. Like, as we're growing up, a lot of people in our generation aren't passing this information down to the youth. You know what I mean? And it's causing that separation.
How do we fix that energy then? How do we
we got to stop being scared to tell children what's really going on. Like, stop keeping kids as kids just because we want to. I don't want to mess up their intellectual, their youth.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
Or sheltering them too much.
Yeah, exactly.
I work with kids, and it's a trip. Every damn day, I'm like, well, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm not gonna stop you because you're onto something. So I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna let you learn. Unless you're about to really harm yourself, do it. Because they're not going to learn. And I feel like what you said, I don't like to talk to my nieces and nephews like they're 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds. I treat them like grown-ass people.
Exactly, man. And I have a child, you know what I'm saying? I treat my child as if he was an adult. I don't lie to my child no matter what the question is. You know what I mean? Like, keep it real.
Yeah, even with kids that I dealt with in the past, like, couple of them and say, like, yo, like, don't talk to me like a kid. I'm like, oh, my bad. Okay.
All right, little guy. Fuck you up today.
All right, let's get into this real life then.
Get you a job then. 101. Go fuck up your credit. Go get a job. Do this and do that.
What do you want to be when you grow up? You'll never be that.
Damn. Well, no, like you said, you're treating kids like they're like the intellectual beings they are. We got 2 3-year-olds and who are becoming more aware of things or experimenting with things because they don't know anything yet. We're over here. You can't do that. You can't do that. All of a sudden, I could say that for myself in my household. Growing up, it was a very destructive household. And I grew up to believe that I was that person, that destructive, chaotic person, when in reality, I'm like, I don't think I want to do all that bad stuff. So I'm going to recreate anew in my own identity. And I think what we don't realize is with the music, with energy too, is that those kids are going to be born into that world without them even knowing they're being born into that world because that's their perspective on life.
Yeah, that's true, man.
Yeah, kids definitely have the purest form of energy. And as us being that generation, we definitely we got to do better. We definitely got to do better as leaders, especially like us, you know, being in the music industry. Like, I feel like this year is like it's a shifty year, like in a lot of aspects. So I definitely feel like we could either be the shift or just be a part of the shift.
I feel like it's a confusing age too, because like we got cats like us talking about it, but then we have other people who are super PC, you know, like you can't say this.
Yeah, where they censor too much or they're too afraid. Like,
I think it's confusing. You know,
it's confusing times for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
There's a lot of
because we are rare, man. There's not too many of us like who are out there.
It's like,
we don't get publicized.
We got cats out there saying you can be anything you want to be as long as you don't do these things. And you can't disturb the waters. You can't, make waves. And
yeah, but
you're being restricted too much.
Get rid of labels.
I think, and they doing what the media does to us. They sow fear because they're unsure of themselves. Like, it's definitely like we're definitely a people like. We're ever changing all the time. Yeah. So you got to be willing to just adapt and adjust with like the changes of life. So, I mean, to tell a kid like to put a restriction on their creativity or anything that they do, like I feel like you hindering their growth and you're deterring them away from like their true destiny. Like I feel like we were created to create. So why not allow them to use their imagination to the best of ability, the best of their ability.
It's interesting because like this is what my mentor used to do in forms of teaching. like even if he didn't agree with your creative route, he wouldn't say no, don't do it. He would actually explain to you like, all right, well, I don't agree with it, but here's how I suggest we can make that concept better. Whereas in my experience, if I were to present a concept, like automatically sometimes my instructors would say, no, don't do it, no, or shoot it down. But with this particular instructor, which I feel, some of these instructors should follow as well, is just, allow that creative idea, like even though you might not necessarily disagree with, but allow that individual to, grow with that concept and something else. Yeah, exactly.
I think, he just comes from a place, your mentor came from a place of understanding. So that's what's dope. And I feel like by allowing somebody to just freely create, you also allow yourself to have like teaching moments when you do see them like going down like a certain path. So
I think when you I'm going off what you just said, when you allow them to create in their own light, that's when uniqueness happens.
Yeah, exactly.
That's when 2 + 2 = 4, but you created another 4, you created a whole nother 4, but yet we still got to here.
And that's where they find their self at, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you have to find yourself through creating your own path.
And I think, because I think it's when you're around other teachers who are understanding and who understand that they are the student also, it's another opportunity for the teacher to learn from the student who found a new way or route. And I think it's powerful when you allow that kids or any creative individual, especially the youth, their own way of outletting themselves, because a lot of kids have so many emotions, so much things that they cannot comprehend. And then they're all running all the place. You got people yelling. I'm like, well, take him to an art class or take him somewhere where he could just doing something. Don't tell me he's wrong. He's painting. Let him paint. Eventually he's gonna grow it.
Yeah, and I just don't think our generation just lacks patience.
Oh yeah, definitely, man.
Like
so much.
Wanting immediately.
So
it's
much.
It's like
Fuck is patience.
Right?
Yeah, we don't.
Just waiting for what?
I think we definitely come from a place where like we've made like several mistakes ourselves, and as adults, we were constantly like covering our own tracks because some of us we're fortunate to be parents or this, that, another. So of course, like when you teaching your child, you don't want them to follow in the same, footsteps as you, but at the same time, you have to allow them to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
And then you just give that's your teaching moment. Like this is where you can enlighten them. All right, this is why this happened. And this is what you could have done, Just, be suggestive. And just allow them to freely make mistakes and be suggestive. There's going to be times where like you have to, lay the law down and set the boundary, like as far as like, all right, this is what it is. This is, set in stones, but don't be afraid. I think people are afraid to lose tradition. And I think that's our problem as a society. Like we've set this foundation for ourselves and we're so afraid to like embrace the change. But this is why, by us conforming to all these traditions, like we hinder our own growth.
Right.
And like we're foundation setters now. Like, the people that are fortunate enough, to be parents now, like you're a foundation setter. So the foundation that you set, you just allow, your children or, whatever children you influence, whether, you're a teacher or whatever, a mentor, whatever the case may be, allow them to build on that foundation because as a teacher, you got to understand that, like you said, it's important to be like a student teacher. You got to be a student teacher. Like life, you're always going to constantly grow and you're always going to constantly learn. So allow them to build on your foundation so that like, that might be like your $1 million idea that you had like all along. It might be the foundation of it. And then they just might add the sauce on.
I think that's another issue though. People stop, like they get to a point where they think they know and they stop learning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's when you mess up. When the moment you think you know it, life's gonna be like, nah, you don't.
Yeah, life is gonna humble you
in the realest way.
In the realest way.
Sit your ass down. You're not moving today.
And then you gonna find yourself like everybody else. Damn, man. I gotta climb back up out of this grave that you put yourself in. Put yourself in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man. And just hearing this conversation, like it's definitely brought back some memories too, because like even going that, like it's something that I tend to applicate more. Like instead of just shooting like any creative idea down, like I just tend to go like, all right, well, let's see what we can do with it. Because I mean, I'll even admit, like in the past, like I mean, there's been a few times where like they will propose an idea to me. I'll be like, no, I'm not feeling that. Now I kind of like, no, let's just see it. Let's see where it goes. Before I do a final verdict, and if it doesn't go, then like we'll just we'll keep going and see where it goes and see other possible solutions.
I agree, man. Like you have to try to learn, but the point is to like learn from your failures. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people fail and then they're like, oh, that's it. I gotta give up now.
Yeah, and that's
it's like no, like why did you fail? What did you do wrong? What can you fix? What can you do better? People don't think that way.
Yeah,
like it's all about evolving.
And then plus people see failure as a negative, and they've been groomed to think that failure is a negative. And it's really not. I mean, failure can be, well, it is a learning experience.
Yeah. It's growth.
Yeah. We fail more often than, we succeed. Yeah.
A lot.
A lot of
times. I mean, I don't know how many times I had to go through life experiences just like, damn, I thought I took a L. And then like, once I elevated like mentally and my frequencies like started to vibrate higher. I was like, damn, this wasn't no L. Like if I'm going to use the word L in terms of like, it's a lesson, so I'm winning. Like regardless if, I feel like it's a loss. And that's, that's what I'm also, as I continue to grow, that's what I'm also understanding. Like you really can't trust your feelings too much.
You can't.
No.
Like we definitely have like a instinct, and I believe like a lot of the makeup of your mental capacity, what you tell yourself, how you speak to yourself is it's gonna be like those are gonna be the defining factors of who you are. Like like me personally, I wake up and I tell myself that I'm blessed, I'm worth it. Like me going into the studio, putting in extra time to like engineer or like work on something else, I'm like, okay, like this is one step closer to like that moment. And then it'll be it's not gonna just be that moment, it's just gonna be like a multiple strings of moments until I get to the point of my destiny.
Exactly, man. And it's really the same as school, as elementary. Like sometimes you don't pass all the tests, you know what I mean? Sometimes you don't always have your homework ready. And school doesn't stop. It's still going, you know what I mean? You still got to go to class. You still got to keep doing what you got to do until you pass that. And I feel like that's how we have to be even after school with life, you know what I mean? Like life is not over. Never. And if life isn't over, you got to keep growing.
Exactly.
You dropped a lot of like gems right now.
For
real, thank you.
That's Pat, man.
Yeah, I was like
K1 dropping the gems, the young diamonds.
Like I just like sat down and was like, no, I'm just gonna
I'm gonna shut up. Okay, keep talking. That's good.
Write a book, man.
Man, you know what?
It's really not that hard, dog.
It's not like
patience, bro.
You know what? Like I don't think the reason why I haven't like begun to write a book is definitely because I'm still growing. Like. And sometimes I get taken back by myself because I do a lot of stuff, but I'm in a background a lot of times. Not a lot of people know who I am. Like not a lot of people even know that I do music or I do what I do. Like for like just as a team member. You know, I don't put myself out there in the public, but like when I do get an opportunity, like, you know, I capitalize on the moment.
You gotta shine.
Yeah, I capitalize on the moment.
You wait for the right moment. You just come out and like, yo, you don't want to do that,
right?
Hey, that's what Beck be doing that sometimes. That's like when Beck. I remember the first time Beck talked, I'm like, God damn, that's a sign from God. Don't do it.
Yeah, man. Time. I feel like timing is everything. I don't know. I feel like people just they being so hurried to get to the destination.
That's patience, man. You got patience.
Yeah, but I mean, when I've you know, my occupation before, like the occupation I'm currently in right now, I was a school bus driver. So man, like it was a beautiful experience. Like, I definitely loved the love that I was getting from the kids. Like the kids knew that I rap, and like just at my particular, you know, place of work, like I was definitely a favorite. Like, so to see like the kids' reaction was like just, it was nuts, bro. Like because the way my route was set up, I would have a high school in the morning, then I would have an elementary, and then I would have a high school in the afternoon. And in the afternoon, I was either a dispatcher or I covered routes. Anytime I covered a route, like they will always ask the dispatcher or another driver, like, yo, where's Mr. Carson? Like, we need him on the bus. Why? Because he raps. Like he's gonna give us gems. Like he's gonna interact with us. He's gonna, you know, teach us and everything. And once I saw like the influence that like I had on the children, like it was definitely a beautiful experience.
What if one of those kids are like one of the next top rappers you don't even know yet, bro?
Bro, I definitely seen a video the other day. Because I still talk to like some of the parents and stuff, man. And she posted a video of her son rapping. And I used to have like, you know, rap battles with the children and stuff. Like it was dope, man. I definitely interacted. Like I like to be in the thick of things, like because I understand, like, you know what, like I'm not gonna be here forever. So let me pass down everything that I have knowledge about, like, to these kids. And he got on the man, he was reading like from his phone. He had his notes out, bro, and he had like this dope rap, like, and it was positive, bro. Like it was definitely, he was touching on like some of the more sensitive subjects in life, and to see him do that, like, and to know that I've had an influence, because it's been several times that like the parents would come up to me and be like, man, like my kids rave about you, like they love you. Like, they come home and be like, man, Mr. Carson is the greatest bus driver we ever had. Like, he raps. Like, he allows us to rap. He allows us to be free. Like, we're not, you know, too constrained. Like, I did things. I mean, I'm cool. Like, I'm very, like, lenient. Like, I only discipline when I feel like the discipline is necessary. So... But, I mean, I used to interact with the kids all the time. I had the privilege of, like, coaching a football team last year. I mean, that was a definitely dope experience. Like, we actually attended a basketball camp this past weekend, and I saw some of the football players that I coached. So, it's dope, bro. Like, to see, like, the kids be like, oh, man, like, Mr. Carson, like, what's up, man? Like, how you doing? Like, you still doing music? I'm like, yeah, man.
Cool. Well, about to wrap it up. Going on to finishing that up, definitely something that's left a lasting impression on me and what David said, and definitely what we're doing as far as like the younger generation is there's always someone that's watching you. Always. And then just hearing your guys' story and just watching, observing, it's true. You know, we're influencing the next generation, whether we're aware of it or not. And so, I'd like to thank again Kanami and
thank you.
K1.
Thank you.
For being our special guest. And with that,
so follow me, Kanami Hami, everywhere, KanamiHami.com, and that's it.
You can follow me on Instagram at 19_19. That's ONENINE_19. The same for Twitter. If you have a Snapchat, you can follow me at K1 the Infamous.
I am New Age Takeover for all my artistry stuff and New Age Athletics for all fitness-related topics. Thank you guys. Back.
All right. And you can follow us at Untapped Hip Hop, and that's in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, and then our new Twitch account.
He got knowledge.
Yeah. With that,
Thank you guys.
Peace.
See you later.
Thank you guys. Wow. Peace.
Yo, thank y'all for coming through, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank y'all for having us. Appreciate y'all.
That was nice.
That was a good show, for real.